Hi, my name is CJ Rooney with SEO Kansas City, and in this module, I want to demonstrate some things for how you might be able to, learn modern methods for results-driven SEO campaigns with the help from an SEO professional. All right, so um, I'll be honest. Being a part of this SEO Kansas City, it's not an effort necessarily to be self-promotional here, but as I'm going through some of these methods, I can't divulge too much of what my specific clients are doing. Um, so I have to kind of do the default of what I'm doing with my business, my SEO agency, which happens to tie in with results-driven SEO campaigns. So pardon, the examples. It's not meant to be self-promotional, but at least I know I have the authority and access, to give you, some insights for how you might think about, some modern methods for results-driven SEO campaigns. All right. So with that being said, I have a website. This is my agency, Hipcraft, um, and it's a modern design. There's obviously rooms for improvement with everything on here. For example, these animated GIFs, are a large file size. So if I really wanted to find some way to optimize these, then I would reduce the size on this, um, along with this one as well. But I felt like it helps to kind of demonstrate what I'm trying to convey as an SEO consultant. The other thing is I'd probably make this look prettier. Obviously, it just looks a little too many blocks of text and everything. But I'll be, upfront about, Yelp isn't that important for like an agency. But the reason why I put these in here is that Google loves to see social signals and it tying in, with different companies. So like, that's why I embedded these Yelp reviews. If you're like a local business, like a local service, a contractor, or something like that, I'd advise seeing if you can find ways to really integrate some of the different reviews, or if you have a YouTube video, to embed that, because that would surely help Google's algorithm to match, that your website, is affiliated with all these other sites out there, such as Yelp, YouTube, etc. Tying that with your site as it considers your website and your web pages on your website to improve its ranking. So, and here's another animated GIF. It's a pretty large file size, but I decided to have that go there anyway. But again, I'm not trying to be self-promotional, just trying to give you an idea of how I think about some of this stuff. But the real thing of what I want you to think about is, so on the front end, you could have a pretty web design. You could have it designed however you want, have different buttons, different pages, etc. But on the back end, there's some things that you should definitely have, for some of these, what are we talking about here? Modern methods for results-driven SEO campaigns. So modern methods that you'd want to consider would be having Google Analytics installed on your site. It's free. You create a Google Analytics account, and if you want to improve the ranking of your site, you want Google products to really be able to understand what's going on your site. So the more you're affiliated with Google products, the more likelihood you're going to improve your ranking, just right off the bat. So Google Analytics. The other one that is also quite popular, not as popular as Google Analytics, but it's very easy to install, is Google Webmasters. And I'll show you some of the uses for this, but if you just I'm gonna just I'm gonna Google Webmaster, or commonly called Google Webmaster Tools. But essentially, you click on here, and all you do is just basically submit the URL for your website, and then It's going to take a little time for it to read what's going on the site, but you're going to come up with something like this. Now, this might seem a little too geeky or nerdy, depending on how savvy you are, and comfortable kind of looking at this. But essentially, what we're looking here is at what's called Search Console. So you might see this keyword thrown around too. It's a part of Google Webmaster Tools. Okay, so the main reason why you would want this is because you can see specifically what kind of keywords your specific website is showing up in search results. Okay, and that's in search appearance, search traffic. But let's just show some things here. One, from the search analytics, you can see the total clicks, and we submitted a sitemap, so it shows how many URLs were submitted versus indexed. And a lot of people don't understand the importance of indexing. Like, you can't rank anything if it's not indexed first. So if you see a huge gap, with what's being submitted, especially on a sitemap, and what's being indexed, and of those URLs, if not all of them are indexed, that's something to look at. You'd probably need a professional to kind of look at that stuff. But what I want to kind of show you, so you would get similar metrics, a similar dashboard like this, right? But I just want to show you, because this is really kind of the power of Search Console, is that you see the search analytics of Google's representation of what your site is showing up in search results. Okay, you can't really get this information from Google Analytics. That's why you need something like Google Search Console to add to your site, right? So that's just an idea right there. It's free. I honestly look more at Search Console than I do my analytics. I have my analytics installed in my WordPress as like there's a plugin for that where you can just like see kind of a line chart, and that's all I kind of look at. But it doesn't show me, that in my analytics that my web pages are being shown in search results for certain keywords. So how I might use this if I was a local business is I would be looking at the search analytics, and of course it's going to be different for your company. But say that all these look pretty on par with what I offer on my site, except for marketing. I don't have like a certain page just about marketing. But say that marketing was a keyword that I'm ranking for, but there's not really any content for that on my site. I might then get an idea to create content based off of the keywords that my web page is already ranking for, because there's something within my website already that is suggesting to Google to show up just for the term marketing. It could be there. I could probably do a search and find that, even though I'm not specifically targeting it. So it's in there 5 times, right? So again, that might give ideas for content creation, because then when you create content, then you can link back to your site, which is going to give that more relevance for it. So this is definitely something to look at. We could go on for pages with this. And I'll be honest, on my specific side, I recently did a redevelopment, even though I'm planning on doing another one here soon. But that's why, some of my clicks probably aren't the highest, because they're still being indexed and we're still doing our SEO campaign for it. But I wanted to just kind of give you an idea. If you're looking for modern ways of how to get results-driven SEO campaigns, when you start with a baseline, I think that's in the next module, for analyzing your site. That's going to help a lot to say, how can I improve my site itself? But then on the back end, you're going to want to be thinking about, like, how can I actually get visibility to make an objective decision of whether I'm actually getting results from my efforts, or from hiring somebody else to do the efforts for you. So Google Analytics and Google Webmaster Tools is definitely something to consider. Now, Google Analytics, Google Webmaster Tools are things for on-page SEO. And this Search Analytics and Search Console in Google Webmaster Tools, this is going to be the closest you can get to be having an accurate reading of which queries and search results your site is actually ranking for. Though um, there are other SEO tools and software out there, and if you have access to them, then you can also do this. And it's also it's useful for your own website or for for competitors. Say that you really want to get an edge over your competitor. You can see what you're ranking for. Maybe you're out of ideas for what kind of content to create from your own search analytics on your own site. You could go to something like Ahrefs and say you're a house painter. Sorry, it's searching the top bar up here, house painter, Kansas City or something. I'm just going to demonstrate real quick. So say this isn't your site, but say this is a competitor. Oops, this is a competitor of yours. I'm just copying the URL up here. I'm going over here and pasting it. But what you're seeing here is basically this could be used for competitive research, right? So if you had access to a tool like this, if you knew what you're doing, or if you had an SEO expert that was helping you, though you don't have access to their search console, if you had a tool like this, you can get an idea for what keywords they're ranking for, how valuable those keywords are. Insight on backlinks, kind of see a trend for how they're acquiring backlinks and other things. So then if you do competitive research, that can inform your own strategy for your own painting company or whichever. So this works for pretty much any URL you put up here. So this is definitely a modern way, because then, say I go to competing pages over here. Again, we're using the painting example and common keywords here for this other company and KCNeighborhoodPainting.com. We can see the exact keywords, the average search volume for those said keywords, and then the position of KCNeighborhoodPainting.com versus this other competitor. So, trying to find an example. So one valuable keyword might be this one, right? Painted houses interior. Sort of a low search volume, but this perspective, this painting company I'm looking at right now, they're looking at they're in the 64th position, 7 pages down, while this other person is ranking on the first page in the 4th position. So there might be an opportunity to say, okay, they're on the 64th position, we want to improve that to a higher position. Okay, so that's how you get information. I'm running out of time, but I wanted to show you another thing. So say now you know the positions, a certain keyword that you're targeting. Now let me give you another example. Again, I'm not trying to be self-promotional, but here with my business, we provide our clients with these keyword ranking reports. So to take a look at something like this, here were keywords. These were buyer intent keywords for this particular client, and they wanted to improve the ranking for these keywords. So just by looking at something like this, when we started talking with them, they were ranked in the 44th position for the keyword ball screw rebuild. Now they are ranking on the 7th position on the first page for ball screw repair. And that was in the span of July 18th to August 16th. So within a month, they moved several pages. See, rank 44 to rank 7 for that specific keyword. So just kind of trying to connect the dots here that you can take these insights and then you could use something like this to improve your rankings. So that's all I have for now. Hopefully this gives you a better idea. I'll see you in the next module. Thank you.